That looks like a good place to troll. So guess what, guys? We're trolling. I'm Chad LaChance. That's Dan Swanson. We're out in the Big Bad Ranger boat. We're on Horsetooth Reservoir. We're looking for walleyes. Baits are already out. The boat ramp's right here. Stay tuned, get comfortable. It should be fun.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. St. Croix Rod, best rods on earth. Berkeley, catch more fish. Abu Garcia, for life.
Okay guys, what you're looking at here is a Big Bad Lowrance HDS 12. All of this that you see, traditional sonar and on the down scan right here, all of this that you're looking at right here is all shad. These hard white dots that you're seeing with those shad and some of these arches that you're seeing under the shad, those are the sport fish that we're looking for. They could be trout, they could be walleyes, but that's what we're looking for, and that's a tremendous amount of bait here in the lake. And we go back to let the screen go live, you can see, look at all these hard dots underneath here. Those are the ones we want, and that's the depth we'll run our plugs.
There's fish.
There we go, all right. Now we hadn't even got out of South Bay yet, so that's a good sign, guys. We didn't make it very far into our day here. There's the boat ramp right there. We actually started and went up that way, turned around and come the other way. And we'll let Dano take care of getting this here, and then I'll get the board off. You want, now we're good with the motor speed and all that?
You might want to slow us down a bit. This feels like a decent fish.
Okay.
You gotta pay attention to what's on here and how far back it is.
Okay, yep. Now that's the flicker shad, number 9 flicker shad, 65 feet behind the board, if I remember correctly, Dano.
Flicker minnow.
Or flicker minnow?
Flicker minnows.
Okay.
We're trying to imitate the shape of the smelt that are in here.
Okay. Pop that open there. Hang on, ready, Dano? It's all you. I'll go grab the net. And we'll see what we got here, guys. So trolling, it's no secret, is not my big thing in life, but I'm spending a whole bunch of this year trying to learn to do more of it, guys. And every time we do it, I go with Dano because Dano's been doing it for a long time. And if you want to learn something, you go with someone that knows what they're doing. Looks like a decent fish, Dan. Now are you gonna bring him over here?
He's gonna go around that side, I guess.
Yeah,
well, that's where he wants to go. So
that seems like as good a spot as any for our first walleye of the evening. And we got him in the big giant tuna net. There you go, the big old fray bill. And that, guys, is why, look at that quality fish, guys. We are on the board. Dano, right there. So there's the bait right there. You can see the flicker minnow in the net. Dano's got control of the boat, and that's a beautiful walleye. And we're not keeping these ones tonight, guys, and that's bigger than I'd keep here anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful fish. Look at that. So we'll get him put back. Nice, Dano. Nice, Dano. So we'll give him a nice gentle release over here on the side. Easy. Look at that. That's a good looking walleye, guys, right there. That's a good looking walleye. See you, buddy.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, spend more time on the water. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate.
Now that's the bait that just got bit right there. That's the number 9 Berkeley flicker minnow right there. I think I spewed out flicker shad in my excitement, but that's the flicker minnow right there. Bait was launched last year for Berkeley, and it's been a great bait. And I don't troll for walleyes a lot, but I troll for trout some. And that dog will hunt catching trout as well.
Yeah, I love those things.
So here's the deal. We're always about pattern fishing, right? We want to be able to duplicate. So we've got a line counter reel here. I've reset it to 0, and I've got the bait reeled up against the rod tip. So now I'm going to let this flicker minnow out. I'm not going to use the clicker on the reel to do it. I'm going to let this flicker minnow out, and I'll let it get out to the same place it was before. And what that's going to do, so long as we're trolling at the same speed, is going to make it run at the same depth it was running when it just got bit. So I'm going to run this bait out to 65 feet. That's approximately how deep, Dano?
15 feet.
Approximately 15 feet deep the bait will be running. And so when we get this to 65 feet, I'll lock it down, I'll add the planer board to it, and then we'll put it out and let it run just inside of that planer board. So then I'll put this in here and clamp it down right there. I'll put a little bit of slack in it so there's room for the flag to work, and I'll clamp it in there. We'll take the whole shooting match, put it in the lake, let the button off, and let it go back out. I could use the clicker here, but I'm not gonna. Just let this out till it's approximately half the distance to that board, just to split them up. Then I'll lock it down, put it in the holder, and we wait. So what you're looking at here is how Dan Swanson, who guides with us here at Fishful Thinker, sets up his Lowrance units. And this is an HDS 12, and yes, I have Sonar Envy. This is an Insight Genesis map that he's done right here. He's built that map himself, he's collected that data himself and built that map, and he was gracious enough to loan it to me. But mostly what's important, what you're seeing over here, is all of these smelt right here are separating in the water column. Earlier in the day, they're all locked at a certain depth range and they're holding right there. As it gets on to evening, as you can see it's doing here, they will release and they'll spread out through the whole water column. They'll come up real close to the surface. You'll see them up in here with some of these shad. And as we're working our pattern out this evening, one thing we keep track of is our speed. Now, we're making a hard turn, hard to the left. So those boards on that side are going way slower and the lure's behind them. Then these boards on this side, which are going quite a bit faster, the little experience I have with this kind of trolling tells me that the turns are often the times you get bit. You think it's the change in speed or what's the deal?
Sometimes it can be a change of speed, but sometimes it can just be it gives you a clue as to how fast you ought to be trolling.
Right, so in other words, the inside board's going really slow. The boat's going 1.5 miles an hour, let's say. The outside boards are going quite a bit faster. If those ones consistently get bit, maybe we need to slow the boat down overall.
Right. It can't. Yeah. If they're consistently bit and there's tension, like right now we're completely stalled.
Yeah. The baits aren't moving at all.
Because I turned really sharp and the wind caught the bow, so this board is totally dead. So if I got a fish on it right now, it would tell me that they want it
real
stopped.
Slow. Sure.
It might be floating up. And then if you get it as you start getting the tension starts to pick up again, that tells you they're doing it on the change of speed more so than just the slower.
So it seems like rather than troll long straight lines, I'm an advocate of steering a cast. If I throw a crankbait, I generally will steer it a lot all the way back to the boat. Trolling, it seems like rather than going a straight line down the lake, maybe doing at least slight S-turns constantly, you know, back and forth, just to keep varying stuff up. Is that something that
Absolutely.
people do?
Yeah, unless you're in a tight quarters, you know, with other boats around.
Sure.
You'll try to run S-turns.
Sure.
Covers more water, gives them both the change of speed and also just different speeds.
Gotcha. And I don't know if you guys can see them yet now in the light, but it's just getting dark enough that we're probably going to have to go ahead and turn on the anchor and navigation lights. But also we've got glow-in-the-dark sticks on the boards now, and the darker it gets out, the brighter those sticks will glow.
There we go. Fish. Fish on.
Is that a fish right there? There you go. All right, get him, Dana. That's all you. I'm going to slow us down just a touch. There you go.
I don't know if you saw that board drop, but
I saw you jump for it, Dano, and there's one thing I do know is that when you yell fish on and jump for a board, that there's probably one on there. So I'm going to go with that answer.
Yeah, now that one was on that inside turn, right? And that board was stalled, and then it started moving again. It probably came up and hit it when it was stalled.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll definitely keep track of that and watch these other boards in the process. All right. And one thing you guys got to keep in mind is when I pull this off of here, you don't want to pop any slack at the fish. You want to let the tension gently back onto here and then let Dano go from there on the fish. You still on there?
No, I think we lost it.
Did we lose him?
Yeah.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate.
So here's the glow stick, guys. You can see how we've got them set up. These flags have a cut in both top and bottom right there. You slide the glow stick through there and it's set up. Of course, if a fish bites it, it'll pull this down and that's our sign that we've been bit. But having the glow sticks on here is a great way to be able to do the same trolling you would do in the daylight in the dark. Here we go.
Whatever we got this set at is the right depth.
Yeah, that seems to be the magic one now. We've had 3 bites and all of them on that one, so that's a good sign. Now I'm not going to change the speed of the motor this time because I have a feeling that jinxed us last time.
It might have. Well, we were going not too fast. Okay, make sure that you keep let me reel down to your hand.
Okay, I will. All right, we're gonna try not to mess this one up, guys. And when it comes to me and trolling, anything's possible. And I still got to use a net in a minute.
In the dark.
In the dark, great, a net in the dark. I keep track of the other boards. I always automatically think when you got one, the other one's gonna get bit.
You notice the flag didn't go down on this one. Yeah, it's because that back clip slipped straight through.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
So the fish
slack.
just pulled it through.
Yeah, so I saw the board move out of formation.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Coming up. Okay, keep the line relatively tight. Let me get you.
Okay, reel.
Okay.
Got him?
Yeah, he's still on there.
All right, there we go. Now I'll go over here and get to the big bad net.
Feels pretty good.
We'll see.
Feels pretty good.
Daniel, you have the most impressive fray bell of anybody I know.
I got it for trolling. And that handle extends even longer.
Yeah. Well,
swing the boat a little bit towards the boat ramp. Okay, we're getting close.
Okay, because I don't see where the fish is, and I haven't even got to my headgear yet.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
He's on the surface.
He's right on the surface right here, guys. And
now he's, okay, we're gonna drag it. We're gonna not go too fast because he's got a big hole in his mouth. If he thrashes,
keep him
we lose
tight.
him.
That's another nice one right here, guys. Look at this one. That's a beautiful walleye. Now I see why you have the big net. He came unhooked in the net. Look at the size of that walleye, guys. Yeah. Holy smokes, what a beautiful fish. Oh man, what a gorgeous walleye. Can I get him out of here for you, Dano?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna change all of our baits to that depth.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good call, right? Easy. I don't want to squeeze him, but I don't want to let him flop either. That's a horse.
Pretty walleye.
We can use a little light off the Lowrance unit right here to light him up. How nice is that thing, guys? Look at the teeth on that.
Yep.
All right, and that's again way bigger than we would keep here at Horsetooth, so we're gonna go ahead and get him put back. But what a gorgeous fish! Nice, Dano.
Yeah, nice fish.
Thanks for teaching me to troll, man.
Good job.
That is good stuff. Easy fish.
Okay, no.
That's a solid 6+ pounder. There you go, buddy. Go, there he goes. Oh man, boom. I like it. I'm gonna go for another one. There you go. I've talked so much smack about trolling for a long time, only because I didn't understand it, and it's all about the boat, and the reality situation is it's a great way to catch a bunch of fish, and you got to spend just as much time refining details as you do casting just about. You know, how far behind is the plug behind the board? How far is the board from the boat? How fast is the boat going? Which direction in relation to the wind current and the terrain you're fishing and everything else, not to mention the lures themselves.
Right, and where are you turning? Was it on the outside? Was it the inside? Was the board stalled? You got to pay attention to all those details.
Well, the board jumping back, I looked up and saw the flag still up, and I'm like, well, what do you mean we got a fish on? But you knew the clip was there, and that's an experience thing, and that's why you fish with guys who know what they're doing. You want to go on a guided fishing trip with Dan Swanson, learn to troll? Dan at fishfulthinker.com.
The other thing with boards is sometimes the line will slip through the clips, and when that happens, the flags themselves don't really work. So what I'm really looking for is a change in behavior of the board. Sometimes it'll just start to slide back. Sometimes it'll almost hop across the water. I'm looking for that kind of change, probably as much, if not more, than just the flags tipping back.
Well, and to reiterate, that last fish we caught, the flag didn't go down. The line pulled through the clip, the tattletale didn't go down, but the board dropped back immediately. Right. And that told Dano we had a fish, and I would have missed it, truthfully. I would have glanced up and seen the flag still there, not thought anything about it, but he was watching and saw the board drop 10 feet back, and that's all it took. Nighttime and walleye fishing goes together hand in hand, and I'm not a huge night fisherman. I don't do that much night fishing, but we have filmed some nighttime walleye stuff, both from the boat and from the bank. In fact, one of the most popular shows we ever did, we did at Carter Lake, which is the next lake in the chain a little bit south of here. Catching walleyes both from the boat and from the bank. The reality situation there is it's oftentimes all about the pause, how the bait sits still. Here with the trolling, it's more about the change in speed or a slight change in the bait, or just flat trolling it through schools of bait to where the walleyes are there feeding anyway and you don't need the pause situation. So when I have fished them at night in the past, it's been around the spawn. We're here in, where are we in? We're in August. We're in the dog days of summer. These fish are thinking one thing and one thing only, and that's eat.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. St. Croix Rod, best rods on earth. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
All right, so we're making an inside turn right now, guys. We're making a big turn, so we're keeping an eye on these inside boards. We've made the same turn, this is our 4th time.
Yeah.
We've been bit right on the turn once and right after the turn once. So as we make this turn, it's been on these inside boards that have the number 9 Berkeley Flicker Minnows on them. So we'll see what happens as we make this. But regardless, one way or the other, this weather's kind of pinning down on us right here. And so we're not gonna be able to stay out here a whole bunch longer. So we're hoping for one more quick bite before we're home dodging lightning. So if you're gonna hope for a bite, it might as well be your high percentage spots, and that's been the inside turn, so we'll see. Inside board, here we go. All right, we're just working to sort of need a little more drag. That's a good one, Dano. I think we got a good one right here. This one's feeling quite a bit heavier than any of the others that we've got.
All right.
I might laugh about trolling in the past, but I'm not gonna. Oh, I think he just came off, Dan.
Did he?
I think he just came off. Did that or he
I don't think so.
quit fighting?
No, he's still there.
Okay, so I'm gonna step back here. All right, here comes the board.
Oh, maybe. Wait a minute.
I think he may come off, Dano.
We are tangled up in something here.
Tell me when.
No, it's still on there.
Yeah, no, he's still on there. Isn't he? Yeah, he's still on there. All right, here we go. Yeah, he's still on there for sure.
Stop. I'm jumping behind you.
Okay, you want to go in behind me? I'll stay down here then out of the way. And you get a light on him, and I'm just going to keep them down and keep them low in the water column. And we'll see what we got right here. And I haven't seen him yet. There, he's pulling good. I think it's a trout or something. If that's a walleye, it's a good sized walleye. He's fighting a lot harder. And just for the record, yes, I am reeling wrong-handed, guys. That's a good sized fish.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a good sized fish. It's a big old bobo, isn't it? There's a walleye.
I think it's a walleye.
That's a nice walleye. There we go. Another beautiful, look how fat that walleye is. People, can I get some walleye love from you? Dano, I have made jokes and we're gonna let him go. That's a beautiful fish, guys. I mean, that is a beautiful walleye right there. Look at that thing. I'm gonna put him over the side of the boat right here. All right, guys, so we're not on the lake anymore. And in fact, we've even had a change of seasons. As you can see, we've got a beautiful winter day now in Colorado, but I had some walleyes that we caught trolling in the fall, just like you saw in this show, and I put them in the freezer. Well, now we're gonna go ahead and cook them, and we're gonna make them into fish chowder out here on the new Camp Chef stove. But understand that you can make this out of walleyes or white bass or stripers or whatever else you might have, and it's another excellent dish for getting fish out of your freezer, so keep that in mind as well. Doesn't have to be perfectly fresh fish. We're gonna start off with a 12-inch cast iron Dutch oven here from Camp Chef, and we're gonna cook it out here on the Explorer 2 stove. Okay, the first thing we're gonna need to cook if we're gonna make fish chowder right here is, of course, some sort of pork base to it. And traditional fish chowder from back on the East Coast is made with pork belly or salt pork or bacon, something like that. In my case, I've got some local bacon. I'm just gonna cook it over medium heat and let it render down. I wanna render a bunch of the fat out of it, but like any other bacon, don't burn it. So we're gonna cook it most of the way down, then I'll take the bacon out, use that fat as a flavor base to cook the onions and the rest of the chowder. Take all this out real quick. And we wanna use that fat in there. We wanna leave the fat that's in there. And then once you take all this out, if there's not enough fat left in there for all your onions, of course, this is where you would put butter. And I don't want to hear anything about olive oil. This is a traditional chowder. All right, and in with the onions. And these are gonna, you can see that pan's good and hot. There's plenty of fat in there. We're gonna put a little bit of thyme in there as well. A infused salt right here. It's got cypress and lemon in it. And of course, we always use fresh ground pepper. Almost anytime you've got a one-pot dish, a couple of bay leaves are a good choice to put in there as well. So here I've got basically what amounts to 3 Yukon Gold potatoes that I gave a coarse chunk to. And so we'll hit those with another quick layer of salt as well. A little bit more pepper in there. This right here is fish stock. I've got maybe 3 cups, something like that. And we'll put that in here and let these potatoes cook down till they're about 3/4 of the way done. I'm also gonna add the rest of my thyme in right here. So we're gonna put about, I guess that's probably 2 full cups of half and half in there. So So this has already been simmering now for only about 3 to 5 minutes, and the potatoes are gonna need about 15 minutes. So I turned it down some, and I'm just gonna let it barely simmer enough to cook the potatoes. What you have to be careful of is do not scorch the milk cream or heavy cream that you put in there. In my case, the half and half. So we cooked down some of this bacon in the very beginning, as you saw. So what I'm gonna do now is put a little bit of it, not all of it, but a little bit of it back in here and let it just cook in. And what it's gonna do is release even more flavor into there. And I'm gonna throw in a little bit of flat leaf parsley that I chopped up right here. What I have in here is 2 walleyes in 18-inch range that I filleted. I made sure they were boneless, and then I chunked them into big pieces. All right, guys, so we stirred all the fish in there. So as soon as it comes back to a simmer at all, as soon as we start seeing bubbles, we're gonna go ahead and take it off and put a lid on it. All right, there it is. You can see, guys, just starting to get a couple of bubbles coming in right in here. And again, we don't overcook this walleye. A chowder dish is traditionally finished with just a little bit of butter. So I'm gonna put a small little bit in here, not a lot, just a little bit. All right, guys, fish is stirred in, everything's in. It looks to me like it's totally done at this point. So I'm gonna set the lid on it, and we're gonna take it off the heat altogether, and we're gonna set it over here on the other side and just let it sit there and let the fish basically steam and finish. Okay, guys, so there's a bowl of it all dished up. It looks beautiful right there. I'm gonna put a couple of little flakes of finishing salt on top, just a tiny little bit of finishing salt on top. A little tiny bit of flat leaf parsley that we chopped up on there. And of course, some of these little bacon bits, you gotta have some of those. We're gonna put a few of those on top as well. And then you gotta have a couple of oyster crackers if you're gonna have a chowder. So we'll do a couple of oyster crackers on there. And guys, there you have it. That is our walleye fish chowder. You can do it with any fish you might have. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's show. We've had a great time making it. Walleye fishing is a lot of fun, whether you troll or you cast, however you want to go about it. Evening time is the right time to catch walleyes. If you want more information on the stove or the recipe or anything else, fishfulthinker.com. You can get information on the stove specifically at campchef.com. And of course, you can purchase one at Sportsman's Warehouse. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you'll make some chowder of your own. Most importantly, we hope that you'll check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or you'll tune in and see what we're up to, and we'll see you next week.
Time now for today's best catch, brought to you by Berkeley.
And behind you.
Okay, you want to go in behind me? I'll stay down here, then out of the way. That's a good sized fish.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a good sized fish. It's a big old bobo, isn't it? There's a walleye.
I think it's a walleye.
That's a nice walleye. There we go. And we're gonna let him go. That's a beautiful fish, guys. I mean, that is a beautiful
Berkeley.
walleye.
Catch more fish.
So I'm looking for any change I can. The other thing is that sometimes the boards, the line will slip through the boards, and then the boards, they don't,
Yeah, club horseshoe. Can you see us at all? If I block this light?
No, not really.
No. We need like lights. Cut for a minute. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hang on, time out. Cut one more time.